Hi everyone, welcome back to video 2 on Ionic&Vue JWT Authentication. In the first video what we have did, we have created a login form and we have created a store, and using some mock access token, we have built up our entire logic for user authentication and successful authentication. We navigate our user to dashboard page. Inside of the dashboard page, we are showing some user information like username to the user. Okay, everything has been explained in the first video. Now, here first we are going to work on two issues like here it is my application, right? I'm using the same project sample that has been created in the video one that will be continued to use in this video as well. Okay, this is my login page, right? If I try to navigate like dashboard, see, I am able to navigate to dashboard page, which is not right, because I haven't logged into my application, but I am able to access the dashboard, which is not the correct way. So we need to fix it. For this, we need to use concept called routing guards. Routing guards are uh, like a barriers or the production gates where they will check for the user um, user rules for accessing the particular page, whether he has the capability to access that page or not. All the set of rules will be executed by the routing guards. So these routing guards will execute before an route has been executed in an application. So this problem will be uh, rectified by using the routing guards. And I want to show one more problem here. Okay, let me log in with some fake data, and we are navigated to test, right? And our access token and refresh token has been stored into our local storage of the browser. Okay, so now if I refresh, see, next to the owner name label we are not seeing owner name. And if you go here we have our access token, refresh token are stored into the browser, but in my application, once I reload the page, I lost my user information. That is because state will be lost, right? Once the application has been reopened or refreshed the page, your state management will be lost. But we know that user is authenticated user only, and his credentials are available in our device storage. Now we need to handle this situation in such a way that when the user reopens the application or refresh the page when he is using the browser, at that time we need to load reset our VX state management by loading the stored access token and refresh token from the where from our local device storage. So we need to handle that logic as well. So first two problems we have discussed now, we will going to resolve them. For that, this logic also handled in the route guards only. For that, what to create a view route guards, we need to go to the router index.js here. Okay, our router provides method like router dot before each. See, this method is provided by the our Vuex router. Okay, so this before each will always execute before the any route has been executed in our application. Okay, here it will have parameters like to, okay, from, and next. Okay, so here I am going to create another method because this logic will be common logic based on the conditions. This logic will be executed for multiple times. For that, so I'm separating this code as separate method. I will name it as God. Okay. I will pass same parameters, and to the URL configuration, we can also add some additional information to our paths like meta. Meta will be a object. So for this object, it is like a configuration for the routing. This configuration can be read while executing the route. So here I am going to create my custom property like required path. Okay, that will be true. Okay, here I am expecting what I mean by this expression is this page need to be accessed by only authenticated users only. Okay, so if you want, you can uh, add the same expression here as well, and you can say like required path is false. You can do that. For required path equal to false, I am not defining them. So that's it about the meta tags to give some role to the page. So this dashboard page should be accessed by the only authenticated user. Now we need to implement a logic for guarding our page. So for that, first I want to do is I want to check whether the user is authenticated. If authenticated, I want to know the user information. For that, I want to put the store. Okay, import store from store index. Okay, here we cannot use map getters or anything because it is not a view component. It is a just JS file for the routing configuration. Here what I will do, here I will first I will check like uh, let the data equal to store dot getters. Okay, here we can pass first like you namespace, then my getter name. My getter name will be get auth data, right? So let's go to my router and add. So this will return the auth data object. If user is logged in, auth data will be there. So here how I will check? I will check like user ID. If user ID equal to 0 means data is not available in the store. When will be the data is not available in the store? When user is not authenticated. And another scenario is if user is authenticated and he refreshed page or reloaded, then the state will be lost, right? In that case also, auth data will be empty. So for that, what we have to do, we need to also check for the what I can say uh, storage, device storage, where if the access token existing or not. So these device storage is an asynchronous operation, right? What I will do, I am going to create a new action method. So let me go to my auth.js file. Okay. Here what I will do, I will create, it is a synchronous method load storage tokens. This is my action method name. Okay. And the parameter will be commit. So here it will check for the uh, like a constant access token equal to await. Okay. Storage dot uh, set. Sorry, now get. We need to get from the storage, right? I need to pass the key. So I will pass the key of my access token. What it is? Access underscore token. So I will use that. Okay. And next constant dot refresh underscore token. Okay. Await storage dot get key. Okay. What is my key? Refresh token key. So here we are fetching from our device storage. So if exist, if both access token and refresh token exist only, we need to execute our logic like constant response equal to, okay, here I will take same properties of this object and just get rid of this mock token. Okay, here we can get from access token dot value. Okay, and not semicolon, comma. Here refresh token dot value, and then we will call our existing mutation only to refresh our auth data object. For that, I am going to use commit. Okay, first parameter will be my mutation name, and my payload is like response. Okay, here what we are doing, we are refreshing the auth state object by loading the data from the storage. The storage might be based on the device. So in our sample, we are testing right now in browser, right? Here it will load from the local storage. So next is go to our router index.js file. Here what I will do, store dot, to invoke the action method, we need to call dispatch. Okay, dispatch. Let me copy my action method name, copy, and go to my router page. So this is a promise. Dispatch is a promise. Here what I will do, I will write, then here I'm going to write, sorry, this entire logic not in the God, this should be in the before each method. So let's cut it. Okay, fine. Okay, here what we are doing, here once we, now again we can check for auth data like same parameter, same sentence can be used here. So by this time, if we have credentials are in our local storage, means device storage, it will be loaded. So after loading only this then will execute, right? Now we can successfully get the auth data from our store. Okay. And next what we will do, here we will return like, we will call guard method and we will pass to from next. Here we also want to pass a one more property like auth data. So let's pass this auth data as well. Okay. If we got any error, there also just call error guard of, let's copy this line only. Okay. And finally also use same line. Okay, here code is only written to refresh the token data from the device storage into our state management, and here nothing is regarding to routing guard we have implemented, just refresh the data from the storage into our Vuex store state. Now in this guard function what we will do, if foo dot metadata is exist and foo dot metadata dot what is our custom property, required path, sorry, it is like not path, you can name as required, that is more meaningful. Okay, required all. If it is true, then we need to execute this logic. Okay, if it is true, then we should have auth data, right? User ID should be greater than 0. Okay, in that means this means the user is has the user route has configured with required auth rule and it's satisfied, and also in the store we have authenticated user information, so we can simply execute the request without redirecting it anything. Okay, if user ID not greater than 0 means equal to 0 means path is assumed to be accessed by the authenticated user, but the user is not authenticated. In that case, we need to navigate him back to path like. Okay, we need to pass the path. When the user not logged in and trying to access the login resource, then we need to redirect him back to login page. That's the logic. Okay. Next, this else condition. If the two metadata is not exist means is required path is not registered. If is required path is registered and its value is false also, this else condition will execute. That means user no need to require authentication for these pages. Okay, but here we can simply return next, but there is a case. If the user is already logged in and he try to navigate to the login page, auth data dot user ID greater than 0 means user is already logged in and he is trying to consume the non-authentication pages like login page. In that case, what we have to do, we need to return next and we need to redirect him back to the dashboard page. See, this guard logic will be little bit vary based on your application requirement. It is not mandatory like this only to execute, because some applications will have pages which will be accessed by authenticated user and non-authenticated user also. In that case, we need to handle extra conditions as well. Okay, or else we simply return next. I think that's it. Our all the logic what we have did. First, we have resolved first problem like we are reloading the uh, user access token and refresh token from the local storage into our view state if they exist in the device the local storage. Okay. Then what we are doing, we are guarding our page based on the meta tag that is registered to our page. So everything fine, I believe. Okay, here one more mistake is like while calling action method also we need to give our namespace. I think we are good to go. Let's reload page. See, we are already getting the data because see here it is loading from the page. If you want, you can refresh page. Still, you can see the user information. That is because it is loading from the browser storage. And if you try to access login page, right inside of the else, because promise before promise, I think it is executing. So let's add it inside of else. And it should good to go now. The problem, if you don't register it inside of else, if it is executing store, right, it is a asynchronous call. Before asynchronous call, what it will do, it will going for this line, I think. We are in dashboard page and try to access now login page. It should be redirected to dashboard page now. See, now it is dashboard page. So previous problem is due to the else condition. So to make sure You need to test more efficiently. So let's remove the what I can say these access token my browser storage and try to refresh the dashboard page. See, automatically it's navigated back to my login page because there is no user information available in device storage. Let's try to access dashboard page. See, it is navigated back to my login page. So this is how effective way of working with God so that only authorized users has the capability to access the some specified protected pages. So in this way, using the route guards, we can protect our pages against the users and their permission. Okay, we have sorted out our first thing. Next thing is I want to now replace the mock uh, access token with the real-time endpoint. So for that, if you go to my blog, I have given some explanation about it. Like here, I am using auth JWT endpoint of server Nest.js. Here you can click on my GitHub link and you can download it. And here there are some commands to run it. You can follow them. Okay. So let me run the same endpoint to my local as well. So here this is my Nest.js mock JWT project. It is a mock, it won't use any database. So you can simply download this repository and run the commands I have given in the my blog. Here I will run my project like here my Nest.js JWT endpoint is up and running. So let's go to my Ionic&Vue application. Here I want to consume it inside of my action method by replacing this mock JWT token. So before doing that, we need a one more library to invoke the REST API calls like Axios. Let's install it. Let's stop for now. npm install Axios. After successfully installing Axios, let's import the Axios into our auth module file. Import Axios from Axios. Okay. It is very simple to invoke a endpoint. So here what I will do, constant response. Here just comment out this code. Okay. Here what I will do, Axios get, sorry, it is a post method, post and payload. So URL will be available in my blog. This is my authentication JWT access token endpoint. See here, payload properties, username and property should be like this only because these are server properties. If you change any casing in here, server reads as a null value, so you won't get the expected result. So please follow the same properties. If you recall my application, I have do same thing only in where login.js. Okay, in the inside of the user info, these properties are exactly matches with the along with the casing matches in the blog only. Okay, if you are not matching, please make sure to match them. Let's go to our auth.js store and place it over here. And it is a synchronous call. Just wait for it. Not this. This important. Okay. Once we got the response, check for status codes like 200 response dot status equal to 200 not status 201 anything will be fine only. Okay. And cut all this code to, sorry, all these line of code to here. Okay, else means endpoint fails. In that case, just update the login status property. Failed. If told if. Okay, that's it. No more changes, I think. You can get rid of this console and the commented code. See, now we have replaced our constant access token with the real time. And we need small changes like data will be from data object. So let's do that changes also. And here we need to pass respond to data. Okay, let's check our application again. Okay, here I have given credentials. Please try to use them only because it is a mock. It won't have any registration page or database. Here I am checking only these credentials only. So to test your application, please make sure to use these values only, username and password. Okay, let me use same credentials. Username is like test and password is 1234. These should match this only. So let's click on login button. See, it is taking some time. That is due to it is going to invoke the endpoint. You can check that invoking endpoint here. See, endpoint is called in our application. Payload is like access token and refresh token headers. Okay, and our endpoint and our payload, username and password, and the response. We are not navigating to why? Here now we need to await here because that is a synchronous job, right? Await it here. And this login should be async. I think. Okay. What I will do, I will just clear these values. Okay. And what I will do, I will refresh my page. I will use the credentials again. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. See, now successfully I am navigating and my access token and refresh token also stored into my storage medium. And if I go to network call, here I can observe my endpoint. Okay. So we have successfully implemented our access token authentication into our Ionic&Vue sample application. In the next video, I am going to explain about the how this access token will be used as a authorization header for a secure endpoint, and also I am going to implement the logic for invocation of refresh token when the access token is expired. All these things will be explained in the next video. I think this video has delivered some useful information. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. We will meet you with the new videos, guys. Until then, signing off.